It is 7 o'clock, so we'll call the meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West, held in Council Chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba. This 12th day of November 2024. Present this evening, myself, Reeve, Gade, Councillors Burick, Kushniryk, Blosha, Zbirun, Neely, McGregor, CAO Kristi, Ronnquist is here, our videographer Jeremy Bergen is here, and we also have one person joining us in the gallery so far. Seeing how everyone's here, we'll head straight to number 2, adopting the agenda. Be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of Council held this 12th day of November 2024 shall be adopted as presented. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely, and I see Councillor McGregor to second it. Any additions or changes to the agenda tonight? Councillor Blosha.
I have just a question about property that needs to be in camera.
Okay, let's add that to the in-camera list, please. Anything else? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favour? That's carried. Number 3, adopting the minutes. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held October 22nd, 2024 be adopted as presented. Is there a mover? Councillor Kushniryk, and someone to second. Councillor Zbirun. Has everyone had an opportunity to look over the minutes? Does anyone need more time? Are there any errors or omissions found in the minutes that we should correct? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favour? That is carried. Public Works report. I get my trusty little text message. I got one earlier today from Mr. Halischuk. He says, gravel crushing is at 7,000 yards crushed. We spent about around 34 hours hauling dirt back to the bottom floor and stripping Kane's pit. We're cleaning a mile of ditch for Neil Brown, just about half done using the new laser. We're done putting in colors for the season. 10 to 15 feet from top of road is mowed, and we are starting on the 3rd round bottom and back side of the ditch. All graders have wings on, as Chris's grader is back. Although there's an issue with the door. I think, was it inspected today?
I don't know of the results of the inspection. I think it was inspected.
So the door doesn't close properly when it was returned. So it was being inspected to determine if it was a shipping damage issue or what's gone wrong. Scrubbing will continue. 1/4 mile left in Brian's area to finish. We'll be moving to Ralph's area next. We'll be starting to fix and put up road signs.
Does it say anything about greater performance or not?
It does not.
No, okay.
We did speak to Mr. Halischuk about being here this evening, but he declined because of the public nature of the meeting.
Public nature.
Yes, he does not wish to appear on video.
Oh, okay.
Anything?
Are we on video?
Anything further for Public Works? Ready to general business. 5.1 grant approvals. So there's a resolution here, but let's discuss for just a moment first. So almost all of these are in our budget. The only question here is the Chamber of Commerce. We budgeted $3,000. Last year we gave them $2,500 towards the patrol vehicle. So do we want to do that again, or should I remove it from the list?
It's 2,500?
We have room in the budget, but we didn't specifically say it was for that. So we need to decide before we.
Is the vehicle rolling? Like, is it? Yeah.
Basically, it pays the insurance for the year. Because it costs about $2,000, $2,100 to insure it plus some gas. So the town's giving $8,000 a year.
Well, then I guess we should leave it in there.
I'd say leave it. I'd say leave it.
Is there any way we could get a report of what they're doing? Like,
We probably could.
We're doing this tonight. We've seen this or whatever. Is there such
I
a
don't know if
thing?
you'll get what they saw, but you'll certainly get the hours they're out.
Okay.
Because that exists, I've seen it. So I'll find that for you. So resolution, be it resolved the following budgeted grant amounts be approved for payment. Swan Valley Historical Museum, $8,000. Big Woody Community Center, $2,000. Lavender Good Neighbor Center, $2,000. Bozeman Community Arena, $5,000. Swan Valley Chamber of Commerce, $2,500. Medical Recruitment Committee yearly fee, $44,144. Parkland Tourism membership fee, $300. Remainder of Northwest Regional Library grant, the total for the year being $69,869.88. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely, someone to second the resolution. Councillor Zbirun. Discussion. Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 5.2 Hydrant Rentals. Be it resolved, the yearly hydrant rental fee be paid to the Benito Water Utility in the amount of $10,000. Is there a mover? Councillor Kushniryk. Someone to second the resolution. Councillor McGregor. This is the hydrant rental fee we pay every year for the fire hydrants to be there. Because the fire department uses them, we pay the utility for them. It's in the budget, it's just a formality to approve it.
That's just a figure that was grabbed out of,
It's supposed to represent the replacement cost of the hydrants over their lifespan. So until the most recent water application, it was 5,000, and it was doubled to 10 because of the cost of replacing hydrants. So essentially, the utility pays for replacing the hydrants, but the fire department pays for the privilege of using the hydrants. It has to pay enough to offset the cost. So regular water users don't pay for hydrants. Further discussion. Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 5.3 account transfers. So these are things we had budgeted. Can you tell it's coming up to year end? We're trying to get through it. Be it resolved, the following transfers be approved. $6,500 from Benito LUD service plan garbage to operator wages general. So that's collecting the money from the LUD taxes. $125,000 to machinery reserve, which is what we budgeted. $10,000 to emergency equipment reserve. $5,000 to paved road reserve. $50,000 from pavement repair to paved road reserve, because we did not do those pavement repairs this year, so that's putting it into reserve to pull it out next year. $2,000 to cemetery reserve, and $18,500 from the LUD service plan to general reserve Benito, which was the request they made. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Burick. Who would like to second it? Councillor Kushniryk. Discussion. Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That should be all the boring parts, the meaty done. It gets better after this.
cheaper, I hope. No.
Well, no, cheaper. 6.1 General Cheques. Be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. General Cheques number 20126 to 20152, the amount of $96,706.61, and pre-authorized debit number 2024-027 to 2024-030, the amount of $5,387.39, for a grand total of $102,094. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Blosha, and a second. Councillor Neely. Believe it or not, I have a copy of the checks here. Councillor Blosha availed herself of the Visa statement earlier. This is a MasterCard statement. We brought with tonight the statement plus the actual receipts to support all the charges on it. If anyone's curious to see it, it's here. Otherwise, questions on checks? Councillor Blosha.
Sorry. 2129. It's a small amount, but I wondered what that gravel was for.
2129?
2129, where did that go?
Oh, 201. Oh, sorry. Right. That is 24 yards, a 3/4 inch stone supply and delivery.
We just bought it outright.
I just wondered.
Looks like,
Any idea where it went?
Would that be to Urban Hill or no? There was some gravel delivered there, but I don't know if it was like,
This says stone.
Yeah, it says,
Would it be the piles that we put for winter that they spread? So we aren't going out there to clear ice?
I know that they have put those out there.
Yeah, and we had no reserves to put any ourselves.
Yeah, so maybe.
That would
It
make
doesn't,
sense.
this is all I have. And it really doesn't say much about what it is.
like, and it doesn't say where it went.
No.
That's what I, like, I mean, it's not a big amount, but where did it go?
is it in our yard?
Being straight stone, I'll bet you that's what it is.
It's stone, it's not gravel.
I know, but they dumped it in the yard just to have it there.
Maybe.
Must be. Absolutely. There's no PO or anything on it to go back to the PO.
Only one guy out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here at the top it says Stone to SR Shop.
Oh, because so
Chat.
it's for the shop,
Yeah, that
okay, yeah,
was-
well, that makes sense.
Okay, next.
Okay, yeah, 2130, sorry.
It's the plows.
That's, but I know, but I just wanna know.
$10,000 each, we build on 2 plows,
Okay.
270 and 303.
Okay.
Unit 103 and unit, still trying to figure out what the other unit number is. And
And I see the roof got shingled in Benito then,
it sure did.
yeah.
It looks good. There's a payment in here.
Is that the full payment for it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay,
20128, that's $17,000 to the bridge deck.
yes, I seen that.
So
That was
we've
good.
sent that once already, the check never arrived, so we put a stop payment on the original check. This is a reissue of that same
Okay.
check. So it's the same bridge, same money, it just never got there.
No, and I did look at the Visa account.
Good job.
So I'm
Anybody
good.
else? Hear nothing, we'll call the question, those in favor? That's carried. Payroll checks, be it resolved, the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. Payroll payments number 605 to 620 in the amount of $26,591.49. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Burick, someone to second it. Councillor Zbirun. Copy of the payroll amounts are attached for council's viewing. Does anyone have questions?
608.
608. Can you tell us about 608? Is it holiday pay or
I
something?
think it's just overtime that's being paid out in,
Oh, it's a one big lump that's being stretched.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's all I want to know, thank you.
not sure how many more of those there are, but I think they're finishing up.
Anybody else? See nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 6.3, indemnities. Be it resolved, the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. Indemnities for October, number 4631 to 4639, the amount of $11,884.71. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely, and someone to second it? Councillor McGregor. I note mine is wrong on there, so I'll have to send that back to Debbie, get her to recalculate it, it's too high. But I have to imagine and look at the rest of them. I will note though that these sheets you see here, you remember how you used to have to sign them all the time? That requirement has not disappeared. You have to sign them. So the office will be getting in touch with you very soon, and you'll get to sign 2 years worth of them, because they need to get signed.
What sheet?
Well, we used to always sign these the night of a meeting, we'd always sign these.
Because you put in the raw one, but then
We put
Debbie
in the
adds
one that we
stuff.
give in that sign, but then we have to sign the ones that they process.
Yeah, we used to do that.
We used to
Yeah.
always do it, yeah. We hadn't for a
And
while.
now we got 2 years of them to sign.
We sure do.
I don't remember that far back.
They'll be coming soon to a pile near you for signatures, as soon as staff have them processed, because we have to have them signed for the audit. Any other discussion? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Let's move to 6.4. A copy of the financial report is attached for you tonight. This is the updated one as of this morning. You'll note at the very end, it did not have that manual adjustment done to it to show that school division. Remember last time we had to write those numbers in and change the total at the bottom? So that was not done to this, so it shows that we're in the hole by 136,000. What it means to say is that we are a surplus of just under 2 million right now. But a lot of that got taken care of with those account transfers because they hadn't been done, so those all disappear now as expenses into reserve accounts. Any discussion on that? Councillor Blosha.
530, 400, 115.
30, 400, 115.
Gotta be a mistake there.
Getting closer, getting closer. There it is, 530,
113,
400.
I looked at 113, but it's,
You got talking about the grease?
So you
no,
mean 111 and
No.
112 and 113, those together?
I think the fuel, right?
I'm looking at the fuel, cause it says
So-
budgeted 2,000 and it's 66 or whatever.
Mhm. So remember how we've been seeing all those invoices that say Durban on them?
Yeah.
Because they've been filling the tank there, then filling the slip tank out of there, then hauling it to the Swan River graders when they're out on the road. So a bunch of that fuel really is Swan River fuel.
Yeah, cause Swan River equipment fuel is
And
way
last year-
down.
Last year, we only spent 1,500 on Durban fuel total, because it's supposed to have just caught the fuel that was like for little equipment and such, like a jerry can of gas here and there. But this year it's catching all the diesel, which normally goes into that top line.
Okay.
So yeah, if you add those two together,
If you
it
add them
becomes
two
more
together,
realistic.
it comes to,
Yeah,
but it's just in the wrong spot.
yeah.
That's all I had, thanks.
Anything else? Set to 6.5, budget 2025, so welcome to the beginning of our budgeting season. You may recall from about a year ago, an interim budget for 2024. We cannot begin January without a budget in place because we wouldn't be able to spend a penny. So this is the exact budget that we passed last year. So I'll read through it all because I have to, and then if we want to make changes, we can. Whereas Section 163 of the Municipal Act provides that a council may adopt an interim operating budget to have effect only until the council adopts the operating budget for the fiscal year. Therefore, be it resolved that the interim operating budget for the municipality, including all rural, urban, and at-large expenditures, shall be hereby adopted for the year 2025 as follows. Government services, 300,000. Protective services, 100,000. Transportation services, 500,000. Environmental services, 100,000. Public health services, 50,000. Environmental development, 50,000. Economic development, 50,000. Recreation and cultural services, 200,000. Capital asset purchases, 300,000. Utility, 100,000. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely. Someone to second the resolution? Councillor Zbirun. Does anyone want changes to any of those numbers? Those are the same as what we passed a year ago for this year.
Capital asset purchase, that's if we want to buy something, that's all that refers to. It's got fiscal services. That's if we wanted to buy a grader or something.
If it's there, we don't have to spend it. If it's not there, we can't spend it.
Right.
Until we pass the budget. Busy night at Meredith's house.
Sorry, a cat ran down the stairs and made a noise like somebody knocking at the door.
I think she's got good security.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 7.1 signing authority. So as you know, Mrs. Ellingson is no longer acting as CAO, so we felt it may be appropriate to remove the signing authority. Be it resolved to remove Pat Ellingson from all signing authority list. Is there a mover? Councillor Blosha, someone to second the resolution. Councillor Zbirun. Discussion. Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. 7.2. We have a request. Road 218, adjacent to Pioneer Elevator. The homeowner there is quite concerned about people using engine retarder brakes when they slow down. They would like something done about the noise. So we have a couple options, well, 3 options really. One is to do absolutely nothing. One is to put up signs requesting people not use those brakes there. And there are signs that say, please refrain from using engine retarder brake. The third option is to prohibit the use of engine retarder brakes there, which would require a bylaw, which we can do, but it's sort of council's discretion what we
Pick
want
the
to
middle
do.
one.
Yeah,
I thought you might.
middle ones.
Okay,
Well,
You can request it, but
try to be nice, but I mean, it's short space, they have to use the Jake there.
Yeah. Coming from number 10, coming from number 10. The 218 is not the bad part, I think it's number 10 they're concerned about.
Oh, well, we got no control on the highway.
That's where they brought, I think they want the sign there, don't they, on the highway?
I suspect they do. We can likely put a sign there, but again, saying please or requiring is very different. Saying please will be fairly easy to do, requiring we'd have to do some work.
Wouldn't that be the highways to the after?
We could do it within, like Benito, we could do it. I think we could probably do it there too.
Because there's probably 3 residents in that corner, right?
Yeah.
3. But the one that is requesting this one, are they just thinking of 218 itself? Because like say 218, you hardly need any brakes because you slow right down, you turn right.
Yeah, I
But
think
it's
they're
the-
concerned in general about the corner.
Number
I think.
10, yeah. Yeah.
Both
That's what I was getting at, I think, and no speed there.
But no, yeah. So we put them up or we request highways to put them up?
We will investigate that. I suspect we will have to put them up. At the very least, we'll have to pay the cost for them if Highways puts them up. But we'll investigate a little more what it takes to put them up on. Worst case, we can put it on the gravel right at the highway, which will still get the point across, because it's not like people only make one trip there.
Yeah, I know.
They make several.
No, it's good. It's good. It's just that who polices that as well?
Well, if it's a request only, there would be no policing.
If we say please, we don't need police.
Yeah.
We'll try, because it is a concern there. They approached me this spring, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Be resolved to install noise control signage on Road 218 adjacent to Richards and Pioneer. So someone to move the resolution. Councillor Burick, someone to second it. Councillor Neely, any further discussion? Okay, nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. So we'll have that on the CAO's list and we'll work through that and get back to you. 7.3, this was a request we had from Councillor Burick to discuss tonight the need for security at the hospital in Swan River. I saw he had brought his security device earlier and was showing it around before the meeting. So Councillor Burick came in, he met with the CAO and myself to discuss this, wanted to bring it to council tonight, and we said absolutely. So it's here tonight for some discussion. Do you want to speak to it, Councillor Burick?
Well, there is no security after 6, I believe. There used to be 24-hour security at one time, but for some reason it's just during the day. And at night, I believe there's only 2 nurses on staff. And there's issues there, I guess, with people coming in, harassing the nurses. The nurses, they want to sleep in the lobby apparently and stuff like that. It's just, they're requesting services, I guess, that maybe some of the nurses don't feel comfortable doing it if they're alone. So it's just that I thought we should request that. It would be nice to have 2 on staff all the time. But I guess 1 is just a starter.
So are they,
There's no security at night.
do they have no security at night though because they choose to or because they can't hire anyone? Because I see they're always looking for security. I don't know if it's a choice. I think it might be just they don't have enough, so they keep them there during the day.
I'm not sure about that. But it's just that they have no security after 6, I believe. At night. There's no security at night for sure, just during the day. And I don't know if there's 1 during the day or 2. Not sure about that either. But there definitely isn't any for the night. And I thought
They used to hire private security over the rodeo weekend, but it's almost like we got weekend every day now.
But with all the things happening now, it's just that should be a safety concern there. I know it's a resolution and we're encouraging for an increased security, but I mean, I think it should be immediate almost.
Is everyone's thoughts? Do we want to send a letter off? So I rewrote the resolution a little bit, see if this works better for you. Whereas the security and safety of our medical professionals is of the utmost importance, and whereas council has received complaints regarding the lack of security at the Swan Valley Hospital during the overnight hours, we resolved to send a letter of encouragement for increased security at the PMH facility.
Yeah, that's good.
Does that work for everybody?
Just fix your regarding,
Yeah, I saw that.
that's okay.
You shouldn't refresh so quick, and I never fixed me for his thought. Come on. Okay. Do you wish to move it?
Yeah, I'll move it. And be nice if the town would also send something like that in there. Do they encourage the town or they're on their own?
You can certainly whisper in the mayor's ear.
Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah.
That's whispering in his ear. Councillor Blosha for the seconder. Any discussion? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Probably should have discussed it there, but seeing how we're still so close, we have these wonderful new red envelopes we've purchased. So our thought was, we're going to send it in these because we wanted to get some attention. And the CAO and I have been discussing that we're not entirely sure that the appropriate politicians are paying enough attention to Swan River. So it's our intention to start sending one of these a week with the clippings from the news stories regarding Swan River to the Minister of Justice, both federally and provincially, to remind them that would like some help here. And we thought we'd use pretty red envelopes so they could see them coming week. It's a great way to remember us.
Maybe could we send our picture in there too, maybe?
Do you want them knowing who you are that much? And then also, there was a list attached here, who's going to get a copy of that letter.
Yeah.
So. 7.4, the Manitoba Grow Program, or MGROW, or whatever they call it, I'm not sure they know yet. So attached here is the proposal we talked about a little bit. Remember we said we were going to do landfill, go through the leachate pond, see if we could put some more stuff in there with it. So this is the base proposal, leachate pond, the office check station, the communication stuff. So basically saying it's going to be $180,000, asking for 50%. Obviously we had to guess most of those numbers because we don't have quotes in for that stuff yet, but anything we get from the program is better than nothing, and we have to do the leachate pond one way or the other. So we do need a resolution for it, so we have one prepared. Be it resolved to approve the Benito landfill environmental upgrading project and request 50% provincial funding under Manitoba Grow. Is there someone to move the resolution? I see Councillor Blosha and Councillor Kushniryk. Any further discussion? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favour? That's carried. Submission deadline is later this week, so we'll have that in shortly. 7.5, Animal Control Report. Be it resolved, the Animal Control Report for the month of October be received and approved for payment. Is there a mover? Councillor Zbirun, and I saw Councillor Neely as well. Copy of the report is attached. You'll note there's someone requesting getting rid of a dog, but we indicate we don't do that. For us to take your dog, you have to let it loose first.
Don't encourage that.
Somehow.
Two people looking for cats, which if they haven't found them, I could provide them some from my house. Any further discussion? Hearing nothing, we'll call the question. Those in favour?
Oh, good grief.
Mention animal control. The next person that calls for cats, just get their address. I'll bring some over.
Christmas. Nicely wrapped with a bow.
Congratulations, here's 3. I only lost 1. That's okay. They tend to get away. 7.6, workplace health and safety inspection orders. So you'll see by the attachments here that workplace health and safety was out, and not surprisingly found some things that we shall comply with. So those are attached for your information tonight. Staff has already begun working on them. We did test the eye wash station, and they're right, it is broken. We probably should have found that before
That's in
they did.
Benito?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get that fixed up, and we'll also start testing them soon, so maybe we don't get caught again. Any discussion on those orders? The one requires training, that'll all get taken care of. 7.7. We have found, as we go through this auditing process, that there are some minutes from prior to this council that were never signed, and there's some bylaws that have had 3rd reading, but were never actually signed either. They're in the bylaw book, but there's no signatures. So this resolution is to provide some approval for us to go through and sign those to get them done. Be resolved that current Reeve Bill Gade and current CIO Kristi Ronnquist be given authority to sign any minutes and bylaws from previous council that are missing signatures. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Burick, someone to second the resolution? Councillor McGregor. And staff have been very diligent about making sure those bylaws actually passed. They have the reading dates, they were at the council, they just never got the signatures.
Is there lots?
5 or 6.
Anything, any meat to them, or, like any,
Nothing huge. And in theory, they're in force anyway, because they had 3rd reading at council, but I don't know why they were signed.
We don't need to go over these things like as council.
We can if you want, we can bring them for a meeting if you like.
Yeah, I can do that.
You prefer that?
It's gonna take hours to go through, or it's just a few minutes, or what?
Well, we can attach them all to the next agenda. If we attach them a week ahead, you can go through it at home. And if there's any that you say, hey, well, we should look at this, we'll
Okay.
discuss that one at the
Yeah,
meeting.
let's do that.
Okay, so let's move to table this instead. So we'll keep the movers and seconders on there, and I'm gonna show this as tabled. Everybody's good with that?
Good.
7.8, urban snow clearing. So the CIO and I had a brief discussion with our public works lead hand, and it became very apparent, for some reasons that would probably be better for in-camera discussion, that council had better make clear our expectations for snow clearing in the Pot Drive and Benito areas this year. So who would like to start some discussion on what our snow clearing plans should be? Councillor Kushniryk?
Lucky. I think we should just have a plan in place for snow removal, so it carries forward. You change lead hand, you change grader operators, everybody has different ideas. All of a sudden stuff changes and we don't expect it. Personally, myself, I've always thought that we should be doing Pot and Drive, Durbin, Kenville, Benito, and then move out. It takes, the densest area that everybody's gonna focus on is gonna be Benito. It takes 2 hours roughly. If they go in there, they're done. You've got 400 people then that have access to medical help if they need it, or roads or everything else. We just basically need to have a set, this is our snow removal plan, and that's it. Even within the town here, they'll have snow routes and snow plan.
We kinda need home care and bus routes as well, they're just as important.
So we've provided bus route lists to all of the
And
snow
how about
operators.
though?
Home care won't provide us, so unless someone from home care calls in, which some do.
Yeah,
and we
some,
let them
like we
where
know
those are.
some,
Yeah. We've, like the general view
cause
has
we only,
been,
we only need one grader in Benito, we're not gonna put them both
Oh
in
no,
Benito.
just one. It takes one about 2 hours, that's what it was taking.
the
But you have a
gen-
grader, you have one roll out in Durbin, he does Durbin. You got one on Pot and Drive that's
Durban
coming
just
out.
is
But you still do
drive
it.
by, cause the Durban Main Street isn't us anyways.
So generally speaking, what we tried to do last year was move around some, so it's not always the same road the first, but with some mindfulness, in a really bad storm, make sure that after a day, we've kind of been near those bus routes. Which doesn't mean drive only the bus route and go back.
No,
It means as you're going through, just make sure you don't skip a road that's a bus road if you need to skip something. For Benito, last year, there were some issues. So the first snowfall was 3 days before we moved any snow in Benito,
yeah,
which is tough to explain to people. They don't get very happy about that. And it was a struggle much of last year. The discussion that went on earlier with the lead hand was that sometimes Benito would wait until day 3 and be the last place cleared. And I struggle with that a little bit.
but see, he can plow from his way to Durban all the way to Benito, do Benito, like, don't be just driving to Benito,
definitely.
plow all the way to Benito, get her done, come on back.
Yeah.
It's also a bus route, I believe that way.
We do have, on good days we have 5 machines. So sometimes last year they used the spare to go do
And
Durban,
that's.
Kenville, Benito,
yeah.
which is an option. I just want us to, if we have the expectation that Benito's being done the first day, I think we should be making that clear as a council so we can inform the staff and make sure that actually happens. Rather than them saying, oh, well, we chose to do it day 3 this time.
Pot and Drive area as well, because a lot of people come in
They gotta
from
get
the
to
west.
work,
there
yeah.
too, like.
Yeah,
You do those first and then they're just done.
but then that's the same thing, they're coming out of here, they can go out to Pot and Drive, clear it,
Yes.
and then keep on going.
Yeah,
And if you leave them too long, then they get like, we ended up in Benito
Yeah.
last year, it was so rough and they can't even cut it.
Yeah, no, I agree with those.
and the people on home care, how do we go about it if we know somebody that's on home care?
Make sure that Kristi knows.
Yeah, if you know of someone who,
I did
if you
in the
know,
past,
yeah,
I
if you know of someone who receives it, encourage them to call and tell us. that they
Well,
receive
the lady I'm talking about isn't.
it. Yeah,
The worst
but even
part-
her home care worker can call us.
The worst part is it's on my road.
Yeah.
It's not gonna look good.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I got
No, I
equipment to
know.
get to town if I have to, I don't care, but, I mean, they come there 2 or 3 times a day, you know.
well, it helps with the home care stuff if they give us some view of, I know it's all important.
Right.
But there's some people that cannot miss, and there's other people that can wait half a day. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
if it's a
The-
cannot miss, we've gotta be there or something
I
bad's
know
gonna
it's to
happen, we
do
need to
with,
know that.
it's to do with medication and stuff.
Yeah.
Not the kind of thing I don't think you can miss too much, you know.
Exactly. What we don't wanna do is go drive, spend a whole day driving and doing things, missing a bunch of roads. We wanna try and work our way through it, but
Yeah,
within reason, right? When it snows, there's always gonna be some inconvenience, but a couple times last year, we were done in 2 days. Everything was pretty much done in 2 days, and that's pretty good, because it can easily take us 3. And if it's blowing, obviously things go bad and we do it, and unfortunately, we just do it again, but
Have we got 5 guys to run the grader, or you counting Chad in on that?
counting Chad in that.
And
Which
when they're pushing snow, they're not looking for like 9 to 5, they're going till,
We certainly encourage that as much as we can.
Yeah, get the job, like you said, get it done in 2 days, 3 days, and
Then take a day off.
yeah, and then wait for the next one.
We're going to try to encourage them to have a little better scheduling this year, because last year, a few times when it was a blowing day, they'd come in at 7 in the morning and say, well, it's blowing, we'll wait until afternoon to plow. And then not plow until 1 o'clock and be done at 4,
No.
which was hard to take.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're trying to encourage that absolutely, if it's blowing, it's better to start at 1, but we'll start at 1 and we'll work our 9 hours starting at 1.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try and help that a little bit, make it a little smarter.
You said 5 operators. You said Chad, how about Curtis? Is he gonna run one in with them or no?
He's been doing some practicing, so
Okay.
we're training him. The goal is to get him fully able to do it too.
How about Tim? Tim, no interest in that or?
Tim is still a work in progress as to what's happening for winter. If he's going to take some time off or if he wants to be here. It sounds like he wants some time off, it's just a question of how much.
Okay.
So is there general agreement then, those urban areas
Yeah, that's
get some priority, the bus routes, okay. We will make sure that is passed along.
Councillor's Road should get priority too.
You'd think, eh?
No,
You've had enough of being on council, you want to lose the next election too.
that's
Give me
a
the
good way
bat.
to have that bat turned on you,
bat.
Brian.
Okay, moving to 7.9, you'll recall bylaw 11224 as the one that had third reading, we took third reading back. So we're here tonight to look at third reading again, so there's been some changes, it's attached. You'll notice what's removed is the portion that needs a public hearing, so that can go to a separate bylaw, which can then proceed on to public hearing if we so desire. What's left in this bylaw, we've changed the title to make it about harm reduction, and then it's basically that whole second half of the bylaw is what's there now. So it regulates harm reduction activities, says that you need a license, it clarifies, there's one new paragraph, that approval shall be in the form of a license issued by the Municipality of Swan West. Such licenses must be reviewed annually and may be suspended or cancelled at any time should council determine the terms of the license are not being met. So that paragraph is new, otherwise this was a renumbering and deleting of the other paragraphs.
Quite a bit deleted.
Quite a bit deleted. Everything that's gone has to go to public hearing. At the moment, public hearing, there's 25 people objected, goes to municipal board, but that's about to change to 100. So we may want to time our public hearing for that change as the government makes it. We'll see. But in any case, this is the resolution tonight, is just for what's left of the bylaw. We resolve that bylaw number 011224, being a bylaw of the Municipality of Swan Valley West to regulate the distribution of harm reduction supplies and activities, shall be read a third time this 12th day of November 2024. Be signed by the Reeve and signed and sealed by the Assistant Chief Administrative Officer. Is there someone that wishes to move the resolution? Councillor Blosha? Sorry, I see a second hand already too. Councillor Burick? Okay. Discussion. This will be a recorded vote because it's third
Couldn't get
reading.
our knuckles wrapped for this one. Pretty straightforward.
Knuckle wrapping knows no bounds sometimes, but we'll see how it goes this time. All right, any further discussion? If not, those voting yes, can I have a show of hands, please? So I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Those voting no. Abstaining. Did I miss you, Councillor Zbirun?
No, I need to read some.
Okay, take some time. I'm going to save what I have so far so I don't lose it.
What I get from this is it's sort of mainly the location of the facility and stuff like that, that's the main concern.
Location and making sure there's a plan for picking up after.
Yeah, no, I
themselves.
understand that part, but it's, yeah.
Yeah, make sure that it's not someplace that isn't great.
Yeah,
Like when you see the pictures every day of the businesses and children's organizations uptown that are picking this up every day, it's enraging. So if this can help us stop a little bit of that, great. What else can you try to do?
Okay.
Okay, which one did you pick?
First, yes.
4? Okay. I have so recorded 7-4-0 against, so the resolution is passed. Number 8, committee reports. Let's start with Councillor McGregor.
Attended a library meeting. I think the most important thing there was the Spooktober thing went quite well. I will let Reeve talk about that. He was there for it, I wasn't, so. And that's the only thing I really have to report.
Councillor Neely.
Well, just a few of us met with Minister Smith last week. Yeah. I asked the question, how are we trying to help these people? And the answer was that they have, I guess the answer was they have 1,100 more beds available in different facilities, whether it be hospitals or treatment centers or wherever. And they last for maybe 1 day to 30 days or whatever. And they have 1,100 more beds now since they got into power. And RJ asked some questions as well about security for people in offices here and so on, and availability and stuff like that.
Carrie said 1,100 beds across the province.
Yeah. 900 of them in Winnipeg lately. I'm guessing. But it was okay, but I mean, it's politics. So, I'll let you elaborate on your
Because we know that's gonna happen.
On your questions and comments.
I was going to just leave all those off, so you didn't cover the other people.
No, but at least they know we're here. They know we're worried about things. So. And promises to stay in touch and so on and so forth. You gotta start somewhere, I guess, right? So, that's all I have.
Councillor Zbirun.
Nothing to report.
Councillor Burick.
I have no committee reports to report on, but I also attended the meeting with Minister Smith as well.
What did you think?
Good.
The young ladies, Brian.
No, I kind of put my foot in my mouth, started the meeting off with a rock, but I straightened everything out towards the end.
Yeah,
They're both young, but
Yours moved.
no, very good. I just brought up the part about the security in the hospital too, and she said they would take that back to the minister as well, to the department as well, so. Yeah, no, very good, nice lady, good couple. She had another lady with her and.
A younger lady.
Yeah, younger lady. They're both young. Yeah.
They're all young, right?
Yeah, no, it was good. She was a few minutes late. She was about an hour late, I think, but she made it.
Yeah.
40 minutes late.
Yeah. Good.
Councillor
I
Blosha.
have no committee meetings, thanks.
Councillor Kushniryk.
I had a RISE meeting that I attended, but our reports will be so similar, and I see you're preparing to go. We'll just let you fill us in.
Thank you. And then yet you complain when I talk. It's ministerial opportunity.
Trying to get it moving along.
Alright, so since our last meeting, I'm going to start that meeting and come forward because that's easier for me. I was at the lagoon, we did lagoon samples, sampling was complete, testing was complete, lagoon was dumped. So that's all good, it's ready for winter. I was also at the water plant because there's only so many of us that can lift barrels of chlorine. So I was there and changed a barrel of chlorine for Chelsea because she couldn't quite get it herself, so that was all fine. I attended the library board meeting. He made it sound so good. That part of the meeting was great. Spooktoberfest was wonderful. Library is a disaster. So the library still, a year later, hasn't managed to solve their spending problem on staff wages. So we got into it a bit that night, and it got a little heated because I missed the last meeting, and I guess everybody forgot that I tend to have opinions. So at issue is, they're going broke. Like every single penny, $280,000 a year to run this library. Ah. So would you believe there's 4 people working at the time again, instead of 2? So I have issues with that. I think we all have issues with that because it really shouldn't take more than 2 people there at the same time to run a library. I understand the safety concerns of not being alone, so I get it. Having 2 people, I understand. But I don't understand 4 people. So I spoke rather lengthily at the meeting about fixing that. I was told it could take up to 5 years for the committee to actually get to the point of reducing the staff to have 2 people on at a time instead of 4. Which was really hard to take. So my concern remains that they have too much staff, too few hours. We could expand the hours, as we showed. We agreed to do Tuesdays and Thursdays till 7 now to get some evening hours back in Swanever. And then the staff refused to work those hours. So we're unable to find people to actually work those hours because they all want to work in the day together. It certainly didn't help anything when there was a murder, because then they all decided they didn't want to be there past 5 o'clock, because what if they get murdered if they're there till 7 o'clock? Which, it's a concern. Like, there's a lot of people concerned about that. And it's very unlikely you get murdered walking to the library to your car 5 feet away, but people are scared. So I get it. What bothers me mostly about the library is that Oktoberfest is going to end up in general revenue to try and pay staff wages, and I don't think that's appropriate. I think when we're doing those special things, it should be going to capital upgrading the libraries, new books, new shelves, new computers, new something. We can say,
Activities.
this is what we got from it, not just, it just went into the black hole of wages. So
Because
think-
did I not notice that there was an ad looking for more staff for the library
Oh,
just
yes.
this week? So that's a problem.
Yeah. So we're going to keep beating that drum there, I guess. It's coming up to budget season. Their budget's due the end of December. They're supposed to have it here already. They haven't started yet. Some of that is perhaps going to be painted as my fault, because apparently everybody else in the place has forgotten how to budget. And so because I haven't made a budget for them, they don't have one. But they also can't figure out, when they're trying to figure out what to do with staff wages, they can't figure out what that will cost them. And so my homework list is to go home and to do calculations for them on what wages cost, which I will do, but there's not a lot of,
It's hard to figure that kind of stuff.
it shouldn't be, but apparently it is. So, I was just disappointed. The library is a good thing. We need a library, but at the same time, I said to them essentially, we either need $50,000 a year more funding, and good luck trying to convince the 2 councils to give another $50,000, or we need to get serious about the staffing problem. Because we were serious about it, we talked about it, and we just crept right back to where we were. Because, oh well, you know, if this person's on lunch, if that person's away today, then we should have these 2 here, but if they all show up, we have 4. No, just schedule 2. And make sure those 2 are there. But there seems to be a lot of inertia in getting that done. So we have to keep working on that. I did some union emailing. We've been discussing the upcoming negotiations, which are tomorrow and the next day. Everybody remembers that. Union committees due here tomorrow and the next day, but council needs to be available as well, so we can have some discussions. I was out for the actual lagoon dumping a little after the testing. The testing was fun, by the way, because the courier left without the tests, and I had to chase him halfway to Roblin. But we got it done. Then on Friday, I had hoped to go to a concert, but instead I went to a brush fire.
I wonder why.
Similar, but different. So I was out there for a few hours. It took a week to get the smell out of my truck, too. It was great. Good thing I borrowed my dad's truck before I went, because it was his truck to stank. So there was a farmer lit a scrub pile on fire with no fire guard, which then jumped into Crown land and burned Crown land by Bonito. So we had provincial wildfire services out there, we've had our own fire guys out there a little bit to look at it. The fire does appear to be out, which is good. We were hoping for no ground fire. There's no evidence of ground fire right now.
Snow will help.
Snow helps. There was some great discussion because the farmer felt you don't need a burning permit after the 1st of November. Our bylaw provides you don't need a burning permit after the 15th of November. So there was no permit. So by rights, we should be issuing a fine. Because that fire was lit without a permit, it jumped, it ran, it should be a fine. We should also be looking at our bylaw. Because I'm not sure that having arbitrary dates in there is the best idea anymore. What if there was still no snow today? Like there won't be any tomorrow. And so someone starts burning something with no fire guarding and no permits, because, oh, I don't need one, it's after the 15th of November. So that's a longer term thing. We need to look at what our plan is there.
We never mind permit, how about the fire guard? No fire guard, because you don't do that.
You do if you're a big enough farmer.
We talking, east of the landfill?
Yes.
And what happens, the fence got burnt too, so.
Now, I understand that Resources was going to go and investigate the cause of the fire because it had impacted on Crown land and was considering fines as well. But our bylaw does provide, is it $200 and some the bylaw provides for not having a burning permit? So,
See, well, sort of
It's pretty cheap.
dependent on snow, so let them just go wild, right? And if it doesn't snow December 1st, even November 15th isn't gonna work that good.
I think it should be by condition. It
Maybe-
was so dry.
Yeah.
Where it was
well,
going.
there's like someone did some burning last night with
Yes,
3 inches of snow around the scrub house.
yeah.
Good time to burn. You know, that was responsible, but what happened there that night was not responsible. There's just no way to say that was a responsible fire.
But looking down the road here, maybe, well, like we get kicked in the butt, but maybe you should have to get a permit every time you burn.
Oh,
I don't know.
I'd like to see us streamline the permit process a bit, because we do some silly things in how we issue those permits. But I think if we streamlined it to make it easier to get them, and then just required them all year, wouldn't be such a bad idea.
Or at least until January 1st, or
Something,
Cool.
yeah.
March 31st or something. You know, they could have that 3-month window, but
Or like Carrie said, with the condition, because
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
it was.
I mean,
too dry. It was
there's
too dry.
sometimes we don't get snow till Christmas night or
Yeah.
January the 1st.
yeah. That's what I mean,
Yeah.
you can't,
So, I mean, go by condition, you know,
each year is gonna be different.
yeah.
On Monday the 4th, I did attend a RISE meeting. It was an interesting RISE meeting. Drama. If only you can find it when you get all 4 councils together. But Kristi came along with just to observe, so she watched the meeting to see. The drama was short-lived, but there was a little bit with Manitoba's Bozeman. They have some strong opinions on everything I'm doing wrong. And I think the basis of the discussion is if you hate me and you have to sit at a committee meeting with me, it's acceptable to just look at me and say, I hate you. And then we have that out of the way and we can move on with the committee instead of spending the whole night saying, well, somebody sitting at this table certainly isn't someone I appreciate. Because it wastes everybody's time at the committee meeting. We all have to work together, so we may as well just get on with working together. So, RISE is continuing on with the business guide. The only member that hasn't paid their RISE dues for 2024 is the town of Swan River. So they were reminded they need to write a check, because it's about time. I attended the chamber meeting on Wednesday night. That was the annual general meeting for chamber. So everything's fine there. The financials are actually caught up and being submitted to the town for the town grant because they require that. I met with the town of Swan River rep, one of their councillors, after the meeting for probably an hour and a half, discussing various issues related between our 2 communities, such as the rink and the pool and the shared services and stuff like that. There was nothing particularly resultive of it, other than just we had a good time to go through a bunch of stuff and try and get some view of the others' opinions to see if we can sort any of that out. On Thursday the 7th, I attended the Benito home with the CAO to conduct an inspection on the home beside the fire hall. So we've done that inspection. There's some details of that coming in camera. And somewhere in there, I did meet with that minister, but it seems to not be on my list yet. So I seem to have lost it, but we did have a meeting with the minister. Her assistant almost cried. I thought it was great that she was getting a little teary-eyed there in the meeting. The minister spoke about us in the legislature the next week, said something to the effect of she realizes that the Reeve of Swan Valley West fully supports the government's actions for harm reduction. Not not sure that's really what we discussed in the meeting, but that seems to have been her take on it. That is my report. Questions for anybody on anything? All right. We're going to take a break before we go in camera. Tonight in camera, we'll be discussing union negotiations that are coming up. Some more on that house. We're going to be discussing a property concern that Councillor Blosha had. There are some HR matters to discuss as well. So we'll take a break. We'll see everybody back in about 10 minutes or so, and we'll be going in camera.
Go outside, Carrie.
With that, we'll call the meeting back to order. We'll head to 9-1. Be resolved that pursuant to section 1523, the Municipal Act Council shall meet as a committee of the whole to close the meeting and continue discussions in camera regarding personnel matters, negotiations, preliminary discussions, unresolved legal matters, investigations or enforcement of actual bylaws, and security of armed documents or property. Is there someone to move the resolution? Councillor Neely. Someone to second the resolution? Councillor Zbirun. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. So returning from the in-camera session, Council's given direction to staff on a couple matters that they will take up with Public Works tomorrow morning. Moving to number 10 on the agenda, is there any notices of motion tonight? Hearing nothing, we'll move to number 11. Be it resolved, this meeting shall now adjourn at, you can wait until I get to the time till 9:15 p.m. Be it further resolved, the next meeting is Tuesday, December 3rd. Yeah. 2024 at 7 p.m. And just to make sure we're still only the two of us going to AMM, nobody else has decided to join us, we'll send you some pictures then.
That was a nice picture of
Yes.
you and
She's making me go to the thing where you have to dress up. Yes.
make sure
Are
you
you
get
gonna be
See what it's about.
You have to put on a skit.
No address.
We're not going.
make sure your two people get a picture of Wob between you.
Was there someone that wished to move the resolution to adjourn?
Wow.
Councillor Blosha and Councillor Neely. Any discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you everyone for a good meeting.